I mean, there's a lot of challenges in the post-lockdown world. I mean, a couple of them come to mind, and I don't even know how much it's post-lockdown world with regard to the lockdown per se, but all of the rapid culture changes that have been just on full display since the time of the lockdown. The LGBT agenda has been going for decades, but it certainly has reached critical mass, hasn't it? The DEI agenda has been going for a while, but it certainly has reached critical mass. Cancel culture has been going for a while, but it really has reached a tipping point. And I think all of these have just made this great inflection point where administrators have always been leery of letting students do all the campus evangelism that we promote, but that's gotten worse, not better, in the last 4 years. Their teachers have always, it's always been a challenge to find teachers that are willing to take a stand with students and be the advisors for the Christian clubs. But yeah, I think in today's environment, it's getting even harder to find that. And there's always been the pressures of the pushback from fellow students that Christians have had to endure for centuries, but I think the animosity that they're facing, the antagonism, and at times even the retaliation that the students are facing, even at the peer-to-peer level, is certainly increased in these days as well. So we're just telling students and encouraging students, so let's be louder and prouder for Jesus than ever before. So we want to equip students to just make as big of a noise for Jesus on campus as they can. And it's pretty exciting to see what they're doing.
That's good. I hope they're staying encouraged, because it's got to be discouraging to not only have your peers giving you pushback, but you don't even have teachers having your back. I mean, that's got to be discouraging. How are the students kind of overcoming that?
Yeah, it is a real challenge. I mean, we'll be candid and say we do see sometimes teachers dropping out on the Christian club students. And we had a middle schooler here, not far from my home in Chicago, where she was willing to stand up and be courageous, but none of the other teachers were willing to be her club advisor. And you think, you're dropping out on a middle school student. That's not a good look, But we're also seeing teachers that just stand in the gap, and they're saying, hey, we'll stand with students no matter what. It's all legal. We'll be their club advisor. And if the principal gives us trouble, we'll help educate the principal on what's legal, And so that's pretty cool. I was talking with one of our club advisors here in Chicago, a gentleman named Doug, and he was a naval officer before he was a Christian club advisor. And he's just smart, gracious, diplomatic fellow. And the school district, years ago when the Christian club first started doing outreach, started telling him all the stuff that his club couldn't do. And they were confiscating his students' flyers and all that and telling them they couldn't promote their event. And he just kind of had a bit of a buddy moment with them and said, if our students got clever on this one, they could cause a lot of trouble for the school district. I mean, if they wanted to take us to court, they'd win. So we should probably quit trampling on their constitutional rights, because one of them's liable to get smart and lawyer up. And then, boy, our school district would just be in a heap of trouble. We probably wouldn't want to have that, And sure enough, the principal thought, yeah, we don't. So they did this whole re-education thing for all the teachers at school to say students have rights. They can share their faith. Don't mess with them. Leave them alone. And I congratulated them, because I told them, man, just think of the thousands of students that now have heard the gospel because you didn't back down. And they estimate about 45% of the student body came out to hear about Jesus just last week. And so it's happening. Students are being supported even by their teachers. And of course, we could tell you story after story of just how students are standing strong themselves.